Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be reunited with Priscilla with her movie, Cooking for Claudia. Let's take a look at the clip.
Hi, Gabriela. I'm just here to do my job. Molly told me I had a full schedule. Maybe later.
Jesse, I booked you the entire day, so today this is your job. Come on, everybody looked online, but good, authentic Salvadoran recipes are hard to find.
That's because no one cares about Salvadoran food, especially in Georgia.
I do. What's wrong?
Priscilla, welcome back to New Filmmakers.
Thank you for having me again.
It's so nice. It's 2019. We're back in 2024, and thank you so much for bringing your film to us. One thing I can say is I'm hungry. That's what. For those that haven't seen your film, tell us a brief synopsis.
So Cooking with Claudia is a film that was inspired by my experience as a Salvadoran living in Atlanta, Georgia. Before I moved to the States, my brother and I made this video about my grandma cooking this traditional meal.
Yeah.
And we did it because our family didn't have a way to, we didn't know how to make that dish, and my grandma was getting older. So we put it together, and I put it on YouTube, and I totally forgot I did that. And I was going through my YouTube account, and I suddenly saw that it had 18,000 views. And I was intrigued about who was watching this family film.
Yeah.
And I figured out that it was mostly Salvadorans living abroad. And at that time, it didn't really resonate with me because I was still in El Salvador.
Yeah.
But then I became an immigrant, and I find myself living in a city like Atlanta and, wanted to recreate all these flavors, and I couldn't find recipes. So I turned to YouTube and I started looking at all these women who were sharing their recipes. And I realized that I had turned like one of the viewers in my grandma's video, where I was just trying to reconnect with my roots.
Yeah, this is amazing. I love that this came from like your own personal experience. I loved the cast you had. Like I literally thought they were just so adorable. I love their connection that they had with each other. Tell us about your cast.
Yeah, so it was hard to find Salvadoran actors in Atlanta. So I reached out to my friend Denise Santos, who is also in the film. She plays Gabby.
Yes.
She runs an organization called Latinas in Media, and she knows all the Latino actors, filmmakers in Atlanta. And we started like looking to see if we could find Salvadorans, and then we couldn't find anyone there. So then we kind of had this open call, and that's how we found Sylvia.
Yeah.
And it was so nice that we were able to find her because she was like so, she wanted to be a part of a film, and then finding Gabby was almost like working with Denise. I was like, well, Denise could actually play this role, And so I asked her, like, would you be interested in playing the role? And she was like, yes, I'd love to. And that's how we found her. And then the little girl in the film was also, Denise was the one to find her. She had worked with her in another short film.
Yeah.
And so we were able to like reach out to her mom, and they've been like so supportive. They've been coming to all the screenings. So it's been wonderful to like have such a nice cast.
Absolutely, and we've actually had a few actors from Latinas in Media as well, so over the course of time. So
that's awesome.
always talented people. Now, I mean, again, like this, when you're making something that is is personal, and there's so much in this film, like and I just just from their own personal experiences, that they're dynamic as their characters, and you could feel so much for you could feel so much of Sylvia, what she was feeling and what was going on in her mind and such, and how their characters like developed. How did you, in this context, because it is personal, how did you decide to sort of work with your actors to sort of create this relationship?
Yeah, so first we once we had the cast, I met with them individually, and I talked to them about the story and where it was coming from. And it was very important for me that we represented the Salvadorian culture in a you know, in an accurate way. So I told them about all the dialogue in the film that had Salvadorian, you know, quotes and stuff. And so I was able, you know, like they speak Spanish, but we all have different like accents. So I remember I recorded all the words in Spanish that had Salvadoran accent and send it to them so that they can get familiarized with the accent. Because that was very important for me. I didn't want them to sound, you know, Mexican or you know, Puerto Rican, you know. So I did that, and then we had a rehearsal at my house. We shot the film in my house, so it was like a nice way to get, you know, familiar with the location and everything. So we rehearsed, and then on the day it was really busy because I also had to like do the food styling on the film.
Yeah, which is a lot more difficult than you think, isn't it? Yeah.
It was really hard. It was like I probably the next time if I had the budget I would hire a food stylist because it was crazy. Like I had to prep so much before the day and then on the day I had to be like very organized. But it was great to be able to work with them and just have like that support from them, you know, because I was doing too many things. So yeah, that was kind of the process.
That's amazing. I know. I'm well done though, because I'm like, it looks a lot easier than you think. Working with food in a film, and it's not. So it's you know, absolutely.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah,
it was going to be easy, but it's not.
Was there good catering on set? Was there Salvadorian food on set? Was that something you had?
No, we didn't. But all the food that I prepped was ready to eat. Like I didn't do anything that was fake or anything because I knew that they were going to have to take a bite, you know, so like all the sauce, like the chicken, everything, I had to make it. And luckily I had been like training, you know, so it's not my first time making that dish. So it tastes it pretty good, I think.
You know, again, it's so interesting seeing this kind of dynamic. You got one that obviously works for the other. And, you know, I felt so much in that moment where she didn't want to cook. You know, it was almost like a hard to kind of come through this moment, you know, in time because it's personal. There's a, you know, you could feel the history of what she'd experienced, what she'd gone through, and like, I don't know if I want to do this, but then, you know, we see this kind of arise together. What were you in that character part of the story? What were you kind of trying to? Because I'm very curious about that, and I thought it was so nice how it was portrayed on film. Yeah,
so I wanted Claudia to have like this false belief that her gift is not, you know, it's not recognized, you know, because of what happened to her with her daughter and that relationship with her daughter. But what I also wanted to do is that she would realize that it's so important for her to share these recipes because there's a whole community out there that needs these knowledge, you know. It's like all the people that have immigrated, you know, and didn't know how to do all these dishes, you know, from their families. And so I wanted to have the character have that transformation through that. And yeah, like I think that was an important thing for me. If she realized how important this is for Gabby and all the Gabbies out there that don't know how to cook. And yeah, that was the process behind that. It was really wonderful moment to see those you know, to see that unfold together. And there's something so intimate and special about cooking together with someone, you know. And it was so lovely to sort of see this as well, but also celebrate, you know, your country, your heritage, your culture, all of those different things in there as well. So I'm curious, how is this is your second film you have with us, obviously. How has the reaction been? We loved having your film at the festival last night. It was very vibrant, but how's the reaction been for you in celebrating this film? Yeah, it's been great. It's been such a journey because when I made the film, I didn't know any Salvadorans. in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
And then all of a sudden this film just kind of opened, you know, this door to this Salvadoran community in Atlanta. So we've had a couple of screenings over there. And the reception has been great. And I was so excited to come to LA because there's so many Salvadorans in LA.
Yes.
You know, it's like we call LA like the 15th state, you know.
I love it.
Yeah, because there's so many people here. And so I was like, I can't wait to see the reaction, you know, and it's such a diverse audience.
Yeah.
Like yesterday it was so many people from like different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And the reception was great. Like people were reaction to all the jokes that we wrote, which is like always like you know, we always get nervous about how that line's gonna play. And it was interesting to see how some of those lines play way better, you know, in LA, and you know, and others play way better in Atlanta. So it was great. I loved the audience that we had yesterday and the whole event. It was wonderful. Like I really enjoyed watching the film and watching everybody else's film, which is so inspiring as well.
I mean, no, absolutely. Well done to you, and it was nice because I think obviously we had a lot of dramatic in the program, so it was really nice to have yours. You gave us a bit of energy there that was a bit more fun. What have you learnt mostly from making this project?
I think what I've learned from this film is that it's so important as a filmmaker to find your community, whether that is like through your background, you know, as a Salvadoran, you know, community, or like your filmmaker community, because you can't do these projects by yourself. You know, like you have to find the people that can support you. And I've learned so much, not even just from the production side of it, but also like when you go out and put it into the world, like just finding this community that can support you in your next project. From watching this project, so that's been like the biggest lesson, I guess, for me.
No, amazing. So much to learn from it. But what is next for you? Please don't leave it 5 years to bring it to us. We missed you. What is next for you, Priscila?
Hopefully it won't be that long. I'm working on another short film, actually. It's in post-production right now. It's about, without giving it away, it's about someone who's breaking up a toxic relationship.
Okay.
But I don't want to say too much.
Have you set it here, or is it set in the US?
Yes, it's set in the US. We shot it in Atlanta.
Amazing.
And I'm still writing a couple other projects as well.
Amazing.
So
fantastic.
Hopefully it won't take too long to be back.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, we're so proud of you, and well done
Thank you.
Well done for this film. But thank you so much as well for coming out from Georgia to be here as well. Super proud of you. And anyone, I think you've done a really good thing for anyone that's either A, El Salvadorian and wants to go and eat El Salvadorian food, and B, anyone wants to try El Salvadorian food, because it made me hungry in a really good way. So thank you so much, Priscila, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me and for hosting this amazing event.
Thank you, Priscila, everybody.